Hey everybody, Katie here. Welcome to my channel where you're going to find content relevant to mature women, having everything to do with fashion, anti-aging, beauty, travel, and more. In today's video, travel. So if those things sound good to you, please click that subscribe button and you will be notified every time I post a new video. So today I'm just going to share how we planned our trip to Europe without a travel agent. This was just our particular preference to not go with a travel agent. We really kind of wanted to have complete input because when you can't go every 6 months to Europe, you want to make sure you get to go and see everything that you want to go and see. And sometimes with a travel agent, it doesn't always work out quite that way. A couple of years ago, some friends of ours invited us to Europe, and we planned the whole thing together, and it worked out so well. We just repeated the process, and so I thought I'd share those tips with you. So everyone has a different idea and different expectations of what they want out of a trip overseas to Europe. Even if you're just going as a couple or with friends, it's good to just get together and sit down and discuss everyone's expectations, because you don't want to get there and then be disappointed that one person had a totally different idea in mind of what they were going to do. If it's going to be a successful trip, everybody really needs to be on the same page. Sometimes if you're going with more than just a few people, the discussions can get a little bit lengthy. And booking trips to Europe, to popular destinations, they get booked early. It's good to, plan months in advance. The more you can plan, the better outcome you'll have for your trip. Well, I thought I would just kind of outline some of the expectations that I think it's a really important thing to discuss with, whoever you're going to go with. Budget. So one of the first things that everybody needs to be on the same page about is budget and how much they're going to spend, how much they're willing to spend. We're talking about, places that you're going to stay, restaurants, tours, car hire, or, transportation. You just got to think about all those different expenses and what everybody thinks is reasonable. You don't want surprises here. There's so much information online about, you can get very specific with even the costs of restaurants. You can pull up the menus and everything. So that's just a good thing to look into ahead of time. So the next thing to discuss maybe would be, what kind of a trip is it going to be? Is it going to be a leisure trip where you're going to sit on the beach and relax? Or is it going to be go, 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 you're going to sightsee? Or is it going to be a mixture? Are some people going to stay up really late and party? Or are they going to go to bed early and get up early? These are all really important things that need to be addressed. Next thing, where will you all go? Everyone should have input. If you're going with a group or just even another couple, everyone should have input on where they want to go and what they want to see. In our case, we thought it would only be fair if each person chose one of their bucket list destinations, and then we went from there with how to coordinate the whole trip. So after each person or couple picked out their destination where they wanted to go, we decided to make those people responsible for that whole leg of the trip. The person that chooses, say, Greece, you find the hotels, you find the restaurants, you find the tours, and so on and so forth with everybody. And then it just seems like everybody gets a fair shake. Another thing to discuss, timetable. What is your timetable? And not just for the entire trip, but also for the days. Are they going to be long days filled with tours, or sitting on the beach? Maybe a combination. Discuss those things as well. So to sum up, what expectations again are good to discuss? I would say budget, what kind of a trip it's going to be, where you'll go, and your timeline. So time to get down to the nitty-gritty of the planning. In some cases, people just choose to go to one destination, and then there's not as many arrangements to be made. In our case, we chose to, see as much as we possibly could, since we don't go every 6 months, maybe every couple of years. One only has so much vacation time. But once we got there, we really wanted to see as much as we could. Maybe my husband probably wanted to take a little bit more time and soak in each place. So we kind of agreed no less than 2 nights in each place, which is a really good rule of thumb, because it's just too much travel time, too much sitting and waiting for transportation and all that. So after quite a bit of research, we decided, looking into it, that definitely the best times to go to Europe are the spring and the fall. The weather is just more in between, not as extreme, and the crowds are a little bit less. So now let's talk about actually booking the trip. So in our case, we were going with another couple, and we thought it would be a fun way to plan the trip, to get together like Fridays or Saturday nights, maybe once a month, and just hash over everything that we wanted to do. We'd get out our computers, put it up on the TV, and go through everything. So the order that we chose to book our trip would be number one, transportation. We booked our flights and transportation throughout the different places first before we did anything else. This is important to do first because it establishes your timeline and shows you what time you're going to be arriving and departing in each city, and how long you have in each place before you book hotels and tours. So still, as far as transportation, how much and how often are you going to travel from place to place? Often flying between countries once you're already in Europe is fairly inexpensive and doable, but it takes a lot of time out of your schedule to be sitting and waiting for flights or trains and such. So it's just something to consider. I find if you're going to travel from country to country or even city to city, it's really nice to maybe book different kinds of travel, because they all give you a different experience, and you see it in a different way. So for instance, on one of the legs of our last trip, we flew from Paris to Milan. And then from Milan, we got a train to Venice. And then from Venice, we took a ferry to Croatia. And in Croatia, we rented a car. So completely different types of travel. The flight is, the least fun. You're just sitting in an airport. The train is kind of fun. You get to see the countryside. We got a table, across from each other and shared a drink and some appetizers. That was kind of fun. And the ferry, it was cold, so bring your jackets, but the ferry was really fun. That's another unique experience. And of course, driving. And so like with the car travel, that was fun. It's more time consuming to get from place to place, but it has a unique experience where you can stop, take pictures along the way, maybe take a picnic somewhere. So each kind of transportation really is unique and special in and of itself. So once the transportation was all settled, the next thing we moved on to was the Airbnbs or hotels. There are several things to consider when booking the hotels and Airbnbs, and I'm going to share a list here with you. My little list would be districts, photos of wherever you're going to stay. Do they have elevators or stairs? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms are there? Does it have a kitchen? Do you need a kitchen? What kind of parking is there if you are renting a car? And shuttles. Do they have shuttles to and from, maybe the airport or the train station if you need? Okay, so where will you stay? The location. Districts. I think it's really important to not just know the location of where you want to stay, but the districts. This is a really important thing. You can get on Pinterest or Google and find maps of cities that it breaks it up in districts. They have an historic districts, or maybe restaurants and clubbing, maybe shopping. So maybe a safe or not so safe. Knowing the district will help you kind of hone in on the location of where you want to stay. Photos. So what do they say? A picture is worth 1,000 words. So make sure that you have photos of where you're going to stay, good photos that show the kitchen, what are the bed arrangements, the bathrooms. That's an important thing. Some websites, they'll give you all these pictures and distract you, and then they didn't show you a picture of the bathroom, and then you get there and it's not very good. Next thing to consider, stairs, elevators. Maybe you have a lot of luggage, and a lot of places in Europe don't necessarily have elevators. And I think that sometimes we're just used to certain things and we just kind of expect an elevator maybe, but not necessarily so. Because if you book a place and you are 10 flights up, you better make sure that they have a lift of some sort, or at least something that you can pay to carry your bags up. So always know what level you're going to be on and whether they have stairs or a lift. So bedrooms and bathrooms, obviously. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms are you need to agree. Sometimes places will, have maybe 2 bathrooms but only 1 shower. So you got to make sure you read through the fine detail and make sure you know what you're getting into. So also with the beds, the different rooms, sometimes they have one room that is a little bit more like a master bedroom and master bath maybe attached, and then the other room is like, a double or something like that. So in that case, what we chose to do, since we were going with friends, is whoever picked that destination got the master, if that was the case, and the better setup, and then it switched. So it always ended up being fair throughout the trip. Kitchen or not? Something to think about. Do you need to pay for a kitchen if you're going to be going out to eat all the time? Maybe not. Or maybe you want a kitchen for breakfast, or a very simple kitchen setup. So you don't want to be paying for something that you don't really need or you're not going to use. Do they have any outside areas for you to, set up your food or enjoy a cup of coffee or something like that? Something to consider. So the next thing you may want to think about is the parking situation at wherever you're going to stay. If it's a hotel or something, do you have to pay for it? Do you get like the first 72 hours for free, or what? Just make sure if you are going to rent a car, you know where you're going to put it. The next thing would be shuttles, because if you are going from place to place, it's really nice if you don't have a car to make sure that maybe you can get a free shuttle trip from the hotel. They often provide that, maybe to the airport or the train station, and that makes things a lot easier. So just find out about that too. And if they have a free shuttle, then you don't have to pay for an Uber if you don't have a car. So we've booked transportation, our places to stay, hotels and Airbnbs, and now we're going to book tours. So again, we'd get together and discuss, what kind of tours we want to see. Inside, outside tours, what's the weather going to be like? Are they walking tours? And if you're interested in booking tours in busy cities like Paris, book ahead. For instance, in places like Paris, where it's one of the most traveled to places in the world, you want to make sure that you have maybe even reservations for dinner at certain places if you have your heart set on something. As far as the tours go, it's pretty unrealistic to think that you're just going to arrive and maybe walk into a museum. They've got very long lines for security, and then there's another line for the entrance and admittance. What we did was we bought something called Paris Pass, and each of us have a Paris Pass, and that gets us into like 60 different museums or different sites. It includes some transportation. You do still have to stand in the security lines, but you can bypass all that other hour line. This would be really good to consider doing, because you don't want to have a big chunk of time taken out of your schedule standing in line. There's all sorts of apps that you can get, tell you just put in your dates and the destination that you're going, and it'll come up with all sorts of tours. Anywhere from walking tours to river cruises, it's all there. The one we used is Viator. I think that's how you say it, Viator. So we've discussed the different expectations for your trip, and we've discussed all the forms of booking and in the order. And now let's discuss getting yourself ready. So our friends that we went with had been to Europe a few times before, and they suggested that we start walking, because in our case, we were going to go and do a lot of sightseeing and a lot of historic tours and things like that. And they said, you got to get ready. So we're like, okay. We happen to have some really nice trails around here, and we'd get together on the weekends and, maybe walk 6 miles and then go sit and, talk about what we're going to do and see, and of course, maybe what we were going to wear, how we were going to pack, which I'm going to be making another video on that. And at the time we thought, walking, is that really going to get us in shape? We usually go to the gym or this and that. Walking was a really good thing, and it really got us in shape and prepared for what was ahead. By the end of our trip, we had walked 100 miles and climbed 400 flights. So that was great, and it was great to be prepared. So then you'll have to decide what and how you will pack, which I will be making another video on that in a little bit more detail. But basically, are you going to carry on, or are you going to check your bags? If you're going to carry on, make sure you get a scale, make sure you get the right size bag, and make sure you check into the locations of where you're going to be and see what their average temperatures are for the time that you're going to be there. I would love to hear if you guys have any ideas for content related to this video. Please list them in the comments below. I'd like to see those. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope these tips help if you're going to plan a trip to Europe yourselves. And please don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys. See you soon.